Hello guys, welcome back to another video, and today we're going to this is another solitary stream, guys. Not a short stream, a solitary one. I don't do wait, what are solitary streams? Here we come. And I don't know what the game's gonna be like. I'm farming a lot of chickens, not lie. But yeah. Offline farming chickens, guys, and I'll show you this first time on stream. Freaking chickens. Am I lagging? Yeah, I'm not lagging. Well, give me seconds, guys, give me seconds. Let me see here. So yeah, we're going to a. Wait, for a second there. I need a swamp, right? A swamp to freaking get my stuff, get a little bit of drops, and yeah, we're going to swamp. No, I don't know what episode is this. Is it 8? It's 48. No, it's not 48. It's not something here. So I'm listening to podcasts. Alright. I'm playing it on Minecraft. Yes, I love Minecraft. Bro. Building my world and building my shit is so awesome. But I don't know how to join in some people.
I'm a young woman.
Okay, so I'm gonna listen to podcasts here. Can you tell some guys in here or Everglades? Everglades, isn't it? Everglades. No, not Everglades, anyway. Hellbound. Kind of forest. Nice bridge. That's Spider-Man.
With frizzy hair slumped in the corner, rocking back and forth. Close to my across the center of it, like it. And there it was. A hulking humanoid shape, slumped in the corner, so quiet, so still, it might have been a statue. I knew it was the window.
Boy, Henry's farm, never mind.
Crackle of ozone in the air was so strong I could feel my nose starting to bleed. Olivia! The name hissed. That's a The inspector knelt down and traced the tiles around the body with one bony finger. He drew it back and rubbed his fingers together. A fine stream of shiny powder trickled to the floor. I frowned. Is that glass? I think so, he replied. He rose to his feet and brushed the powder off his coat. Look at the way the body slipped. Stream of shine. Never seen anybody quite like him. Not a bad detective. Marconi gnawed on her gum for a few tenths of seconds. Well, I hope he gets the trick. I'll rest easier when the feds are off our backs. She spat the wad back into her hand and folded it into the empty wrapper. I stepped back as she opened the cruiser door and hopped into the driver's seat. Before she left, she rolled down the window and gave me the dimmest of smiles. See you back at the station, he said. Then she revved the engine and rolled backwards on the parking lot.
So there, we're gonna upgrade our mace. I don't know. My mace. This is my mace. I'm gonna upgrade my mace.
The victim's wounds were consistent with that of a car crash. It wasn't the lacerations of the broken
So it's easier to get these stuff. Or no?
Trauma to the head. That explained the mangled mess in his nose. What it didn't explain was how a car crash victim
There
ended
we
up
go.
on the floor of a convenience
I think smite is easy. I don't know. The reason I use smite is to organize this one. I'm slow, bro. It's fine, bro. I don't know how to use this gear now. I use two strikes.
Nothing seemed to make any sense.
What the heck? Yeah, you have to hold it.
To make sure I was okay. I couldn't tell her too much about the case for obvious reasons, but she was receptive. She'd seen a couple of my cases on the news, and she knew how dark it was to be dead. I told her I was fine and that I'd be home within the next few hours. She didn't sound convinced. That she'd leave dinner in the fridge whenever I got back.
Okay. No, I can't. Come here.
He was working in a car repair shop down in the lower
Bro,
States, and doubled
it's really
as a
bad.
night janitor at Pacific
I
High.
can't do it
He
anymore.
had a wife
Ice,
and
bro.
a daughter.
That's how Wampu
Family
is
on
really hard.
Sunday.
Really
I
ice.
couldn't figure out why anybody would want to kill this woman.
Okay, is it?
Vanilla as they come.
No, bro. Okay, wait,
Someone
wait.
who harbored enough of a grudge to murder him in such a gory and
Bro, can I do it?
simple way.
Bro,
Unless the
this
inspector
is
was
really
right,
nice,
it was
bro.
somehow a freak accident. Left us where? That line of reasoning made even less sense than the murder theory. One morning, I was walking the worse when news of another dead body came over the police channel. The officer seemed reluctant to describe the details, which only mean one thing. This was a gory one.
Oh my god, he saw me there.
I got back to the mangled mess of Edgar Guerrero's body. Wondered what kind of fresh horror they stumbled upon this time. There's no point in putting it off until later. Grabbing my jacket, I headed out the door and climbed in my car. The body had been found on the front porch of a house in the lower Glade, down by Spokane Falls. The few details I could get over the radio were maddeningly vague. All I gathered was that the victim was young and female. However she had died, it was too gruesome to announce over the airway. I stepped on the gas and urged my car to go a little faster. The victim's house was a pretty low number, white fences, low-hanging eaves, a front yard laden with flowers of all colors. The falls crashed like pistons in the background. I drove up the driveway, talked for a bit with the officer on duty, and then got out of my car to investigate the scene. I pulled on a set of latex gloves as I did so. A pair of cops were standing together and muttering to one another by the front porch. They stepped aside, warily, to let me through. The porch reeked of rotten body smell. I had to hold a hand over my mouth.
Oh no, bro, what the fuck?
The victim
No,
was a
wait.
blonde-haired girl in her late 20s or so.
Oh, this one
The
right
entire
here.
left side of her
I
body
think
had
it's-
collapsed into a splattering mess of gore that
Yeah.
spread outward in all directions. One green eye directly into the distance. I knelt down. The remains of her limbs for anything.
How you die, bro?
ordinary. It was difficult.
Man, I gotta get a zombie horse early morning. Why?
When I looked up again, the inspector was slouched in the doorway. The door was pulled low, and his face was framed in a halo of smoke. Damn cigar again.
Yeah. Last time at the maze spot, I freaking hated it. I don't know.
Did that send you down here? I asked.
But last time, guys, I freaking messed up. I don't know why the fuck I messed up, bro.
Right now,
I did messed up, bro. Like it was 5, but now it's 4. Cause I fucking get some books. I forgot. I was supposed to do that, but I don't know. But yeah, this
She
shit.
volunteered downtown at the soup kitchen and ran a reading group at the public library. A bright kid. Her neighbor was the one to phone us about the body. She said she was walking home from the supermarket and just saw Vivian lying there.
I know, miss you,
Didn't
bro.
get close enough to see the warrior details, but it sounded like.
All right.
Inspector nodded. We know anything about the neighbor? Not much. She's getting on in years. She likes walking to the store to get some exercise in her routine. Apparently, she didn't know Vivian all that well, but she said that she seemed like a nice enough girl. Not the kind of person someone would want to murder. Just like Mr. Guerrero, the inspector said quietly. Sounded like I cast another glance at the body. If this even was murder, he said. I'd seen suicides leave the building before. I watched medics scrape viscera on the sidewalk. There's no doubt in my mind that Vivian Tracy had fallen to her death. How was that possible? The porch roof overhead was still intact. She obviously hadn't come crashing through it. And there was no way our would-be murderer could have dragged the body here. The splatter made it all too clear that this was the point of impact. What's going on? The inspector looked down and took what remained of Vivian's arm with one hand. Her skin was streaked with blotchy green patches. It reminded me of the grass stains my son got on their knees after soccer practice. Is this significant? I asked him. Everything is significant.
Alright, I invented this, guys. Look at this, guys. I invented this one right here. So yeah, look at this. Damn, look at that, boy. Don't get a traction that much, yeah.
persistent
My
crashing
non-existent
Spokane Falls
viewers.
wasn't doing much to help.
My
I dropped my
non-existent
ankle
viewers.
temperatures.
Hello,
It
this.
had been a long day
Look at
and a
this, bro.
half,
I
and
put
maybe
ice in
things would
it,
start making sense.
and I was
I went
testing
home
it. I was
to
put
recharge my
cobblestone here. It
batteries.
doesn't work, so I just put ice there,
It was
and
around
I
3 in the
freaking
morning when the
it
cell
works.
phone
It
on
works
my
like a
dresser
it
began to
works like a
buzz.
thing. Look at look at this.
I've
Look
always
look
been
look
a
look at
light
this. Look
sleeper,
look look
which
at
is
this.
lucky for a detective.
Damn.
You never know when you need to be on your feet
God
in a hurry.
damn, bro.
I fumbled for the phone and brought it up to my ear.
Yeah, I gotta slay all my chickens,
The
bro.
detective
So,
Hanning, I said, keeping my voice a whisper. The inspector stood next to me and I didn't know what it was. It's me, said a voice on the other end of the line. The inspector. The connection didn't muffle his voice, which created this unsettling illusion that he was crouching by my bedside, speaking directly into my ear. I rubbed my eyes and peered around the bedroom just to be on the safe side. How did you get this number? The inspector either didn't hear me or chose not to answer. I've been doing research down at the station, and I may have picked up a lead on the Tracy Guerrera deaths. We head to the Potomac Bluff area and do some recon. I squinted at the clock on my desk. I'm officially off duty, Inspector. Are you sure you can't ask one of the other officers? I'm pretty sure Marconi's out patrolling right now. No, it needs to be you, Mark. Marconi was on the road, and I'll give you the specifics. Hang on, Inspector. The man didn't leave much room for conversation. I stared at the glowing screen of my phone for a few seconds before sighing.
yeah, I'm gonna show you my chicken farms, right? Okay, two. Okay, one is. Let's show some chickens. Damn. God damn. Oh my god. Yo. Bro, these sounds are shitting, man. Dude, I'm turning on the sounds, bro. Turning on my sounds, bro. This is bullshit.
I leaned over and kissed the gently on the forehead. I won't be gone
God.
long. That's right.
Alright, there we go. 13 levels, guys.
He surveyed
Fine, I'll clear all of these. It won't matter.
her eyes, refusing to give away.
It will lag my game, and I don't want lag no more, so that shit. Yeah. But
I told
I'll
him
leave the water, guys. I don't know. And it's a lot of chickens. Fuck
I
is
slipped out
this?
of bed, grabbing my jacket from the bedpost and tripping hastily into a pair of work boots. I called the inspector as I headed outside and fumbled through my jacket pockets for the keys to my Camaro. Okay, I'm here, I said. Tell me what you got. Both victims had ties to a high school teacher named Elroy Pickett, he replied in that strangely crisp voice. I glanced around again before slipping into the driver's seat. There's a botanist. Teaches environmental science at the school where Edgar did his janitorial work. He's also a head volunteer at the youth group Vivian Tracy attended up until her death.
No.
The pause.
Thanks for volunteering. Thanks for volunteering.
That's it? Yeah? You got me out of bed for a connection this flimsy? I'm sorry, Inspector, but there's nothing to even remotely suggest that this is a lead. People know other people. It's not so unusual for both Vics to have mutual friends in a town this size. The inspector let out an exasperated noise that I can only describe as a hiss. But that's the thing, he said. They don't have anyone in common. I checked as many sources as I could, and as far as I can tell, Elroy is the only link between our victims. Plus, Elroy himself seems to have dropped off the radar. He hasn't shown up at school for the past week, and nobody has seen him around town since then. He's holed up in his house doing God knows what. That's why I want you to do a little snooping. Scope out his home and see if he's up to anything suspicious. I sighed. Fine, I'll humor you on this one, but you'd better be on to something here. The voice at the other end of the line was quiet for a few moments. I don't know if you believe in intuition, Mark, but every nerve in my body went on edge when that man's name came up on the database. One way or another, he's involved with this, and I intend...
Go to man, I got chicken farms all day,
He
bro.
gave me Elroy's address and hung up before I could get another word in. A real talker, that one. I shook my head, turned the wheel, and headed down the back road that would take me all the way to Skokomish Bluffs. When I was a kid, the Bluffs had a reputation of being haunted. Indian burial grounds and such. You know how it is. But mostly the bluffs were just quiet. You almost never had disturbances this far out of town. The few people who lived out here kept to themselves, and so did the animals who poked their heads out of the forest.
Man, told you guys, it drops there, and boom, get some chicken shit, bro. It's awesome. Some of them were despawned, so I don't care, bro.
During my
This
younger
shit.
years, I used to come up here with my friends and watch the setting sun sink behind the line of treetops. Made the entire forest look like it had gone up into flames. I drove to a couple
Okay,
of
time
acres
to
of
time to
ground
fuck my
upward,
mace,
and the
guys.
trees gave way to
Alright.
grassy emptiness.
I don't want no enchantment, bro. I want one enchantment only. That's it. This will be new. Alright. I did enchant this one in my stream. Or I don't stream, so yeah. So yeah, it will be different. Alright. I have no freaking enchantments. I have no fucking shit. This is bullshit. Yeah. It's gonna be awesome. Fine. For density, bro. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It is fine for density. It'll be awesome. Where is my shit, bro? Oh, there it is.
My car in a nearby thicket and cut the engine.
Okay.
My headlights faded.
Here's the moment.
Then I settled back
Past
in
the
driver's
lips.
seat and waited.
Past the gums. Here, asshole. Here it comes.
I had no clue.
Density mace.
The likelihood that Elroy would be awake at this hour, let alone doing anything suspicious, was close to nil. But the inspector had been insistent on me coming here, so I figured I owed him the benefit of the doubt. I kicked my feet up on the dashboard and stared at the empty windows, watching for any signs of movement. Around 4:15, the front door opened suddenly, and I froze where I was sitting.
I got a density mace, guys. What the fuck? 4. I'll do 4 this time because my spear is 4, and my old weapons is 5, so it'd be awesome.
Older than I'd expected.
Yeah.
I followed him as he hobbled over to the porch swing and eased into it with a visible wheeze of breath. I sank deeper into my seat and dialed the
Gambit.
inspector on my cell phone. Anything? He asked right away. I'm at Elroy's house and he's just...
What am I gonna name this mace? Oh wait, I'm gonna name this
a
mace.
little late for him
Wait
to
a
be
second.
out.
I'm gonna name this mace. I'm gonna name it
I practically see the
Facial
inspector wrinkling his brow.
Dormitory Days.
Age.
75, 74, 74,
I mean, he's
74,
seriously old. Old
PIPO,
enough to be my grandfather.
Peeps.
I don't know, Inspector.
Nope,
Seems like you
not
might
Peeps,
have made
bro.
the wrong call on this.
No, Peeps is it's like a rejected that name for a long time, so yeah. This is a rainy text loaded sword. What am I gonna name it?
The inspector said.
I'm gonna name
Voice
Cake
seemed so collected,
Slammer.
now bordered on
Cake
frantic.
Slammer.
Shit. This is bad. You need to get back to the station
Unstable
now.
weapon.
I peered through the
Unstable.
front window again.
Unstable
Elroy was
weapon
slipping
X.
lazily on the
Unstable
porch
weapon
swing,
X. I don't know.
hair
Unstable.
flowing around his head like wisps of white cotton candy. He's an old man, Inspector. He practically had a heart attack just walking across the porch. How could he possibly be dangerous? That's no old man, the inspector insisted. Trust me. If that thing gets its hands on you, it's all over. You need to get out of there. Elroy jerked his head up suddenly, as if he could hear the inspector's voice from all the way across the lawn. His swing froze in place. I tried to crouch behind the dashboard as his eyes darted back and forth. I didn't think you could see my car from here, but those eyes seemed remarkably sharp for someone his age, and I couldn't shake the sense that they could see in the darkness. They reminded me of the time I'd taken a hiking trip with my friends.
Fine. Unstable weapon X is out the chart, guys. Key the door.
Its eyes glowed yellow in the light from the moon.
Solomon. Dark Solomon is 71. And
That was a look that I saw in Elroy's eyes. A kind of animalistic hunger. I'll meet you back at the station, I whispered into the phone. Elroy sat there for a few more minutes.
yes! Okay, I got my mace. Holy shit, look at this. Unstable, bro. Whoa. Yo. I'm even gonna use my mace, I don't care. If it's 50 blocks tall, that'll be awesome. Wait, I'm not using this one. I don't have any blocks. I don't have any blocks or something. So.
The trees loomed like sentinels around me. For the first time in a very long time, I was thankful for cover. The inspector was waiting by my desk when I finally got back to the station. He had a stack of papers in his hand that he kept flipping through. The hell's all that? I asked. He glanced up, startled as if he hadn't heard me come in. I've been looking through my research and I found a disturbing link between the victims, he said. He handed me the papers and stabbed at the first source so hard his finger almost poked through it. Look at this article. Edgar Guerrero was involved in a car accident windshield on impact and he hadn't been wearing a seatbelt. Look at this. He shifted the papers and showed
Okay,
me
never mind.
grayscale
It doesn't work.
printout. It's a
Well
blog
then.
post from Vivian
Oh,
Tracy.
I did waste this island.
She
Never
was
mind.
skydiving with her college roommate last summer. She had a close call with a ripcord. Her parachute almost didn't open.
What is it?
A few more seconds, and she would
Up
hit
and
the
over.
ground.
It doesn't work. It doesn't look like a literature train. It only works underground?
The
The
newspaper didn't
fuck?
say much about Edgar's car crash, but the vehicles in the picture had crumbled like used soda cans. I had a hard time imagining anyone walking away from this one. The post from Vivian's blog was cheery, riddled with emoticons. There was a photograph of her plummeting through the air, laughing, with a stretch of grassy ground waiting far below to meet her. The girl in this picture had no idea how
Here?
close she would have come to dying.
Yes, we got our mace and
I thought of her
I don't
body,
see anything.
spattered
You
in
see
the puddle
anything?
on the front porch.
I don't see anything.
An upsetting tingle all over my skin. This can't be coincidental, I agree. Heading back to the files, but what did these sources have to do with Elroy Pickett? The inspector reached for the desk and withdrew another sheet of printed paper. This is a license renewal issued to Mr. Pickett just last year. He passed it to me. His fingers taut. The license was newly issued, just as the inspector had said, but the figure in the photo was far too young to be Elroy. It's not to say there wasn't resemblance. His nose had the same crooked bend to it, and his stringy black hair was already starting to thin. I could imagine it growing white and wispy in several years' time. This guy's only 40 years old, I said, looking up from the paper. The old man I saw on Elroy's porch must have been his father or something. There's no way a person can age that much in the course of 1 year. The inspector snapped his fingers. But that's just it. Elroy has aged. Several decades in a matter of months. I know what we're dealing with the second you described him to me. There's something inside him. Something that's been eating away his years until he became that dried up old husk that you saw. I furrowed my brow. You want to run that by me again? The inspector began to pace in agitated circles. You don't have a word for what this thing is. Let's call it a time eater. It messes around in the past, turning these people's near-death experiences into real death experiences. Whoa. Slow down, I said. What are you saying? The inspector stopped his pacing. This entity doesn't receive time the same way you do. It's not a linear progression. It's like a piece of lattice work. A series of avenues that go forward and backward and sideways in all directions. He tried to gesture with his hand but gave up. This thing is reaching back in time and tweaking details. An unbuckled seatbelt, a faulty parachute cord, so that our victims die years before they should have. The past tries to catch up to the present and wham! Instant death. The time eater takes these missing years and feeds on them. That's how it stays alive. Like a parasite, leeching the life force out of others. Okay, hold on, I said. I don't quite understand what you're talking about, but do you hear how crazy you sound? I agree that whatever's happening here is weird, but you can't just go around
Fuck me, bro.
inventing monsters that fill in all the blanks.
No, bro, what the?
Rational
Yo,
answers
chill,
to
bro.
all of them. We'll find
Okay, never mind.
Just give us
Yeah.
time. We
Go.
don't have time.
Bro, I don't know how to use my density mace.
This thing feeds on time.
I'm not.
Every second we waste is another second it could be stalking its
No,
next prey.
what the hell, man? What the? Please, dude, I don't know how to use my mace, bro. Where?
I know you don't believe
Bro,
me
what the?
yet. This is
Yo,
your
I'm
answer.
trash.
So grab your
There it
car
is.
and let's go.
Yes, I
Stop
did it.
Elroy before he feeds again. He slammed the papers onto my desk
Alright,
and strode to the door. His trench coat whipping behind him. I glanced
Fuck.
down at the wrinkled stack of files.
No, what the hell am I
Face
doing,
stared back
bro?
up at me. I wasn't ready to
Wait.
buy into the inspector's time eater theory just yet. But what wasn't Sherlock Holmes?
Alright, got one.
When you
Amazing.
eliminated the impossible,
My God,
whatever remains,
No.
however improbable,
I did this in the. I don't know.
must be the truth. Elroy Pickett may not have been a
No,
tiny
what the-
monster from
I
outer
hate you. I
space.
hate you.
He was
I
a
generally
common
hate you,
link
bro. I
in
fucking
both our
hate you.
mysterious
You
death
fucking
cases,
caller.
and he may have played some sort of role in the murders. It was worth it.
I got one.
insane, I mumbled to myself, but I followed the inspector out of the station, making sure to turn off the lights behind me. Marconi wasn't too happy to leave her patrol at this hour of the night, but I told her that we had a lead on the mysterious deaths, however tenuous, and the inspector had requested backup just in case. I trusted Marconi. She was a hell of a shot, and she excelled under pressure. I'd witnessed her handle bomb threats and lines of incessant gunfire without breaking a sweat. It wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that she'd saved my life a few times over. There was no one I wanted more on the force to watch our backs. She met us in the heart of Skokomish Bluffs. Her headlights off, her engine reduced to a low thrum. It wasn't an unusual sound to hear this far into the wilderness. Could have easily been the purr of a mountain cat. Elroy's house waited for us at the top of the bluffs, tiny as an architect's model where we were standing. The dim moonlight glimmered off his greenhouse. Marconi glanced up at it.
Oh, wait. I hate that guy. Why? I hate you. You, bro. No, bro. What the? I hate that. Yo, get the fuck out of here. I hate you. Arrows are so annoying in game.
Don't hesitate to shoot if necessary. Sorry to drag you into this, I said, putting one hand on the roof of the cruiser. It should be a simple Q&A, but the inspector is getting kind of paranoid.
My god. I hate that. That flying fuck, bro. I hate that flying fuck. Dude, I really hate that flying fuck you. Dude.
Alright, but you owe me.
Dude, that flying fuck is so annoying. I swear to fuck me. The phantoms, bro. God dang it. You fuck off. You gotta attack me again, I swear.
We kept to the shadows as we
Yeah, you gotta attack me again.
Towards Elroy's house.
Come here.
Keep your gun ready, the inspector said under his breath.
Come on, please.
This was supposed to be a peaceful investigation, but he sounded so earnest that I slipped my pistol out of its holster. I gripped it with both hands, the metal cold under my fingers. It felt heavier than usual. Maybe there was something in the air.
Oh my god, bro, what the
The building couldn't have been more than one
man, I
story,
can't do shit.
but it loomed over us as we approached. We climbed onto the front porch with hesitant footsteps. A gust of wind picked up, causing the porch swing to drift lazily back.
No, what the?
I reached out to ring the doorbell, but the inspector stopped my hand. The front door was open just a crack, revealing a dark foyer, a welcome mat, and a dried potted plant. He gestured for us to go inside.
What the? Yo, chill, bro.
We have a warrant.
Yo, wait, do it again, and
Trust me.
whatever.
A warrant is the least of our worries, he replied. He ducked his head and stepped across the threshold. Swearing under my breath, I held up my gun and followed him into the dark entry hall.
No! The baby zombie! Oh my god! Why? The freaking baby zombie! Okay, do it again, bro. You go fuck your baby zombie, bro. Get him. Come on, baby zombie, come on, kill that fuck. Come on.
Must have sucked all the juice out of Elroy's plants before moving on to humans. Even that's not enough. Its vessel is
Now we're bad. I have protection on.
If you're done speaking gibberish, can we move on
Fine,
here?
mother.
I whispered. Jesus. This is so illegal in so many ways. Elroy could sue the shit out of us for entering his house without a warrant. I wasn't exactly sure what the inspector was trying to accomplish here. A ceramic clatter issued from the back of the house, and the inspector froze. Greenhouse, he said. He rose from his crouched position and darted through the doorway. His slender body disappeared into the darkness of the next room. I gritted my
No, I hate
The
that.
kitchen was already empty when I stepped inside.
Come on.
Where the hell did he run off to? Another clatter came from deeper in the house, louder this time. It sounded like someone had thrown a flower pot onto the ground. I dodged past the kitchen table, overflowing with empty plates and silverware, before ducking into a side hallway and heading towards the greenhouse. The door had already been thrown open for me, so I hurtled inside. Everything had an eerie silver tint in the moonlight. Plots of earth stood on raised platforms. Dried ferns and withered flowers slumped in piles on the floor. Flower pots were perched on every spare inch of shelf space. I spun in a slow circle, keeping my gun held up, eyes peeled for any signs of movement. I didn't tell where the crash had come from. There's no ceramic littering the ground, no splinter of roots and dirt.
No, bro, wait.
Noises on the linoleum as I made my cautious way to the back of the greenhouse. Then a hunched shape came lurching at me from behind one of the raised platforms, fingers bared like claws. All right. His head was thrown back, and his wispy hair fluttered behind him as he ran. A guttural cry rose from his throat and pierced my ears. Without thinking, I raised my gun and fired off a single shot. Elroy veered out of the way with almost inhuman agility, moving far faster than any man his age should be able to. Then he crashed into me, knocking me against a glass cabinet and latching onto my arm with one clawed fist. I cried out, my gun flew from my hand and skittered away across the greenhouse floor. Veins popped under his grip, glowing in lines of neon red beneath my skin, the same red glow pulsing from his open mouth. At first, I thought his teeth were missing, but no, it was more than that. The space between his jaw had been completely hollowed out. No gums, no tongue, no esophagus, just a gaping maw where his mouth should have been. I kicked at his shins and tried to struggle free, but his grip was stronger than I would have expected from an old man. If he even was an old man anymore, his eyes had taken on an odd silver sheen, like he was wearing mirrored contact lenses. A tangled sort of snarl escaped from the void that was his throat. His grip tightened, and suddenly my brain was flooded with images. At first, it was just flashes.
No, please. I hate that guy. Bro, you just keep hitting me. That thing.
Shuddering sense of coercion,
Fine,
like a
whatever.
film reel spinning. I recognized this night. It must have been 3 years ago, when I was still new to the force. I saw myself crouched down at my police cruiser, gun clenched in one sweaty hand, listening as bullets
I did it,
zipped
Mace.
past the car, shattered somebody's windshield. Red and blue lights spun in circles around me, and the firing stopped. I lunged up and aimed my gun at the shooter, shouting orders to surrender. A bullet caught me in the chest before I could even finish speaking. It knocked the wind out of me. Sent me sprawling on my back.
Can I get more?
If it hadn't been for the Kevlar vest that I was wearing,
Please.
I would have
Oh
died.
my god.
The bullet had stopped just inches from my heart. Except this memory was different. As Elroy squeezed my arm, the Kevlar began to disintegrate beneath my uniform, shriveling away as if it had never been there in the first place. Maybe it hadn't. This was my missing seatbelt, my faulty ripcord. Elroy was erasing the safety blanket from my past. As the Kevlar shrank away, I could feel the bullet resuming its suspended course, burrowing through my shirt and sinking its cold metal body into the flesh above my heart. Then the inspector burst out of nowhere, barreled into the old man and sent him crashing to the floor of the greenhouse. His fingers detached from my skin with a strange, wet, sucking sound. The memory of my night in the crossfire jerked backwards like the sensation of an elastic snapping, and I collapsed against the glass cabinet. It came crashing down into the pots of dead flowers. I drew in a shuddering gasp of air and tried to regain my balance. The memory of the bullet still burned against my chest, but my shirt was dry. I didn't think it had pierced the skin. Could have been a bit woozy from Elroy messing with my mind. But I staggered to my feet. I thought I saw the old man pick up the inspector and hurl him through the back wall of the greenhouse. His body smashed through with enough force to make the glass explode outward in a shower of tiny shards. Elroy leapt through the gaping hole and threw himself on the top of the inspector. I got down on my knees and began scrambling through the mass of soil and broken glass, searching for my fallen gun. My vision was swimmy, and I had to stop a few times to keep myself keeling over out of dizziness. But I kept